Hey everybody, I just want to come to you and show you my newest art kit design this year. So this is the Christmas wreath that I just finished. This is what it looks like when you order. So it'll come in an art kit with all the paint. It's got everything in there you need. So this is a different one. As you can see, I have a lot of different kits available. But it comes with the texture, so all of this beautiful texture you see in there, you actually squirt that on. It's like working with frosting almost, and you just take a knife and pull through. It's really a lot of fun. The kit has the glitter, it's got all the colors and everything you need to do a design just like this. And also the brushes are really good quality. So if you check out the link below, you can order your kits, and I just want to wish you a Merry Christmas. Okay, I'm ready to start recording this video for you. So here is what you're going to be starting with. If you've ordered the art kit or if you're coming for one of my parties, this is what the picture looks like finished. And so we're going to go ahead and I'm just going to demonstrate how to do that. So inside of your kit you'll find some plaster. You can just kind of mix it up a little bit like this. Pinch off the corner, right? It says cut here. You just clip the corner like that, and then you can start just squirting it into your texture area, the wreath part, just where the wreath is. And yeah, I'll just show you a little space here. Just demonstrate a small area first. So you don't have to worry too much about how this is going on, because when you do your color, you're going to come back in with the color and make your texture. So you just kind of smooth it out just enough to get it on there. Just like that. Okay, so what I do next, if you have ordered a kit, you're going to have something that looks like this. So you just open your colors, and you might want to mix a few of them if you need to. So anyway, you just take your knife and you just dip a little bit into one of your, this is the leaf green, and you just take and you pull. I dip it in each time and just pull that through, just like that. Okay, so I'm going to use the darker color on the outside of the rim. So sometimes you're dipping in the hunter green, and sometimes you're dipping in the leaf green. Now I do have another color. It's called Christmas tree green. And if you like it to be a little bit more of, I don't know, a little more of a blue-green, you can use that color. So I'm going to occasionally dip into some of the Christmas green as well. It's kind of a pretty variation of colors. So as you can see, it's pretty forgiving. I think that as you go, you want to turn your board. Keep your darker color on the outer edge. Just kind of pull through. And I really like the way the lighter color shows through when you pull. See how it makes the white show through? And so you're basically doing that all the way around. It's pretty simple to do. And you don't need to worry too much about the edges, because you can correct that with white paint afterwards. Okay, a few things about the wreath is just for me to show you again. So on the outer edge, on the outer side of the wreath, you're using the darker green, which is the hunter green. On the inside of the wreath, which is like in the middle and the inner edges, you're using a combination of leaf green and Christmas tree green. So what I did is I double dipped. So I dipped a little bit in the leaf green, and at the same time I dipped in the Christmas tree green. So you can just kind of vary those as you want. You can dip one and then the other one and do them separately, or you know, however you want to do it. But I just use those two colors in the middle, and then I use the darker green around the edge. The only other thing is you keep turning the board as you go and pulling towards yourself. So I pulled this direction. So I dipped it in leaf green, dipped it in Christmas tree green. So I'm double dipping, and then I'm pulling it towards me. So you just keep moving the wreath this way. All right. Just keep on moving it like that all the way to the end. And then you can go ahead and pause the video so that you can do this part. Okay, so I want to show you, I went ahead and did the red so that you could see. So it's going to take several coats. So the first coat is going to have to dry completely. I want you to notice that I left some spaces in between, just to where some of the taupe is still showing through, so that you can see the division. And then on this and this and this little spot, I did burnt umber. So you can do that. And then I also did this little hanger in red. It's about an inch wide. So you can just draw that in and put your little hanger if you want it in there. So once you get this far, then we're going to let it dry. You can pause the video. Okay, so while we're letting that dry, we're going to go to the next step, and we're going to do this nice paneling look in the background, or it could be maybe a door or a fence that the wreath is hanging on. So I'm going to use my taupe. Make sure you have all the red out of your brush, and they're about every 3 inches, maybe 3.5 inches apart. So you just take, you don't have to be too careful with the lines, just kind of putting them in. And the reason I say that is we're going to be painting back into those with some white. So you see how I started the first one there, and then the last one ends the same, and then there's two in between. So that worked out nicely. And so you just kind of guess where it's going to end at the top. I think they look better if they're not perfect, just because it makes it look just a little more natural. Get one about there. Let's see, in here we're going to put maybe one coming up here. Got one here and one here. This one's going to end up here. Okay. All right. So you have it looking like this. So we want those to dry before we do our background. So while we're waiting for the background to dry a little bit, I have a toothpick. It should be in your kit, and I think I'm going to clip it a little bit to give it more of a blunt end, and then I'm going to dip into my black paint, and I'm going to do 3 little clusters, like little clusters of maybe really tiny little berries. So I'm going to go through the whole wreath and just do little areas of those little black dots, just kind of random little groups of 3. You can pause the video. Okay, so for the background, I want to show you how to do. I already did it a little bit, but I'm going to demonstrate for you, just to show you how I did it. Make sure, first of all, you got to get clean water for this, because your water's probably red from washing and drying your brush from that. So you're going to get the white on your brush, and Oh, I've got some red on it. Hang on. Okay, so for this background, you want to make sure that your water is clean so that it's not red. So go change out your water. Make sure your brush is clean so you don't get any red on the background. Then you're going to add white to your brush, and you're going to go on the left and the right side. So you just pull down, making your line a little bit thinner. And then you go on the other side and you're kind of sandwiching in that line like that. Okay. And then to get this little bit of a variation in the wood, you just take a tiny bit of taupe, not very much. If you do very much on there, it's going to be too dark. So you just do a little tiny touch of taupe, wipe off your brush, and then just pull some white back through it. And you can do that through the whole background, where you just touch a little bit of taupe, pull it in like that, and then pull some white back through it. Okay, so for the next step, I'm going to add some of the glitter while it's still wet. And that way it'll stick. You won't have to use any glue. So it's best when you open the little bag, you just kind of shake it into the palm of your hand and then just pick it up this way. And just kind of pinch it with your fingers and let it snow. All right, so on the bow, you can add a little bit of sparkle. Probably don't do too much on the bow because we're gonna still do the shading, but it's kind of nice to have it on there while the bow is still wet, so you don't have to add any glue. All right. Okay, so I'm going to show you a cool way to do this shading on here. And in your kit, I put watercolor in one of the containers because it's easier to shade with watercolor for this part. So I'm going to just show you. I'm going to do the top of this, this little spot right here. So you're going to take your brush and put some of your black watercolor just in a little spot right there, right where you want the edge to be darker. Then you brush it off, wipe off your brush, and then just take that edge and pull it up. Now you're gonna take your brush, put it in the water, rinse it off, and just take it and pull it out like this. And it makes a really nice shadow. If it gets too dark, you can just add some water, just add water to your brush and just kind of pull back into it like that. Now before you start this, your bow has to be completely dry. I'm sorry, I forgot to say that first. So I took a hairdryer on the bow and I made sure it was really nice and dry. So let me just do one more right here. It's still a little bit wet there. You need to make sure that it's dry. I think I'll do this spot. So I think we'll make it just darker on this side. So pick up some of the black watercolor and darken your edge. Then wipe it off. Put water on your brush, dry it off again, and just soften that edge out. All right, that was really easy to do. That's a good way to do some shading. Okay, so you want to follow your picture and do your shading here, 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 okay? And then I also added that same dark color and put it on top of the little darker areas there. All right, you can pause the video and go ahead and start shading.